Okay, we have a special guest this afternoon, Coach Sarah from Nigeria. All right, you're on the air. I'm glad to have you here
Okay.
on. We're glad to have you here on Zoom.
Yeah, good evening. It's evening here, so I don't know what time it is over there. Maybe it's noon or something. But
Afternoon,
here is evening.
2:28.
So whoever is listening, saying good evening and also good morning and good afternoon wherever you are listening from. So firstly, I'm going to introduce myself.
Yes.
My name is Princess Akpu, and I'm from Nigeria. And I'm into a lot of things. I have an NGO, so basically, I'm interested in discovering and harnessing young talents. I'm interested in educating and empowering young people. Okay, so and aside from that, I'm also a writer. I write for both children and adults as well. And I also have a platform where I bring together writers and influencers, to help them get better with writing or to know how to monetize whatever they have, self-discovery and the rest of that. So I'm really happy to be on this event, this show tonight. Thank you, Emmanuel, for having me. I appreciate.
No problem.
Okay. So uh, I basically have few things I really want some clarity on. And the last time I was on your show, we had a couple of things you mentioned, you said you wrote a book, right? And if I'm correct, kind of reversed the book. You have a new edition of the book. So I'm wondering, why did you revise the book? You know, can you tell us about this book and the revised edition?
Sure. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, this is my revised book, and it's entitled The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. The reason why I revised the book, because my first book, which I published back in 2010, come to find out that I got ripped off. Um, the publishing company, they published the book, but they didn't edit, and I paid for editing and publishing. So that made me look like a very unprofessional author, and I wasn't going to stand for that. And also, I didn't have the resources to hire an attorney. So that's how come, I just have to let that go. I have to focus on my revised book. And I thank God that my business partner, Sister Renee, God touched her heart to work with me, and she's the one that helped me revise the book. We started it all over from the beginning to the end of the page.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So this book, what exactly is it talking about?
He said, basically, good question. Basically, it's three books in one. The first part of the book, it talks about our experience as Black Americans slash descendants of American slaves. It talks about our past, our present, and also our future. The second part of the book, it talks about my personal life experience. It was Jesus slash Joshua that has given me this vision to help improve not only the African American community, but also to help improve the African immigrant community here within the United States of America. God has put God slash Jesus slash God has placed it on my heart to connect with African immigrants that's already here in the United States of America. And those African nations that he wants me to connect with, or African immigrants from the following African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. And the reason why I'm emphasizing Nigeria is because my Christian business is going to help benefit, I'm going to say, the Nigerian country. But first, we got to get it popping here in America, specifically in Chicago, where I am at. Unfortunately, a lot of Black Americans, which I am a Black American, have that slave mentality. And that means that a lot of them don't really want to work with me because of, I'm going to say, envy. They don't want to see me have a successful Christian business. This goes even in my family. Family members are unsupportive. And the reason why is because of that slave mentality. And so Jesus / Yahshua is calling me to first, I have to get my team in order, because right now my Christian organization only exists online. It's called the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. I'm on all the major social networks, and I create different groups in all social networks as well. Unfortunately, back in October of this year, I believe someone from Facebook sent me a virus, okay? They sent me a virus that crashed my phone, and I was unable to connect with my main Facebook page. I'm locked out, but I thank God that I created a backup page. So with that being said, that's how we're able to still communicate with each other, and I'm able to connect with other people that's on my former page. But bottom line, I need African immigrants in America from those 10 African nations. I need them to read my story. That's all I'm asking them to do. Again, read my story. If you agree with my vision and plan, make yourself known to me. Don't wait until I am dead. Work with me while I am alive. I've been pushing my vision for the past 33 years, Coach Sarah. For the past 33 years. Also, I have a virtual store. I sell shirts such as this, t-shirts. I sell beach towels, coffee mugs, etc. in order to get my Christian, in order to generate capital for my Christian business. Unfortunately, my revised book, as well as my virtual store, things are barely selling. And I tell Black Americans all the time, the white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying my book. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from buying items from my virtual store. The white man is not stopping Black Americans from contributing to my film project. That's a personal choice. And again, this is why I'm reaching out to African immigrants that's here in America, because it was Black Americans from I'm going to say from the 60s during the civil rights era that helped get African immigrants to come to this country. So I'm asking you to do me a favor. I'm trying to help my own people here first for credibility, because we have to learn how to get along. The reason why there's a division between the African American community and the African immigrant community is because when African immigrants come to this country, they see a lot of the negative things about Black Americans in the media. I would say in the music videos, and a lot of that stuff is become a self-fulfilling prophecy. A lot of that stuff is true. So in my business, and I don't have much time. I'm gonna do the best I can. So I'm asking everybody to please be patient with me. And we started off a little late, but we're gonna do the best we can to get through this Zoom video or Zoom interview. Um, what God is calling me to do is to create the best African American business within the United States of America. I have to do that first before I come to the 10 African nations, including Nigeria. So again, I just want to go ahead and name what this Christian business is going to do. We are going to have 9 main components: a social service component, a spiritual component, which is going to be optional for secular people. We're going to have a political component, entrepreneur component, an entertainment component, and in that entertainment component, we want to create Black empowerment films so we can generate capital to help improve our inner cities here in Chicago, as well as in each African nation that we're going to visit. Each African nation that we're going to visit, we're going to set up local chapters so we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continents, such as you, Coach Sarah, and also give you an opportunity to come to America to meet me in person and to promote your business, your books, your music to our to people in our community here in America. Black, we're gonna have a Black grassroots media. We're gonna have a health and wellness component, a science and technology component, and number 9, travel and tourism component. This is very important. Why? Because this is going to help benefit the African American community. It's also going to help improve the relationships with African immigrants here in America, so that way we can heal. First of all, for Black Americans to heal from that slave mentality, and for African immigrants that become members of my organization, they're going to heal from that colonized mindset. That's very important. Also, Coach Sarah, I'm just letting you know up front, I would be willing to partnership with you once I get this organization up and running here in America. But again, I want that for credibility. Anybody that think that this is a scam or things like that, because I'm selling a book, my message ain't for them. And my business, again, is membership based. So those that don't want to work with me while I'm still quote unquote small, no problem. Once I blow up, those same people that rejected me will not be part of my business, because this is membership based and I don't want to deal with them. Again, all I'm asking for people I'm trying to connect with like-minded African immigrants, like-minded Black Americans, like-minded. Read my story for yourself. If you agree, cool, work with me and donate what you can towards our film project. The film project is called Hood Liberator, made in Chicago. The war against Willie Lynch begins, and that's based on my revised book and all the problems that I've been going through trying to get this business up and running for the past 33 years. I refuse to be ignored. I want the Black world to hear me loud and clear. We want to solve our issues. Over here in my business, we're not going to sit up here and complain about the white man and the government. We're going to do what we can at the grassroots level to solve our problems through this Christian business. I stand on business, and I only want to connect with people that's standing on business. We're not going to be out marching and protesting and all that kind of garbage. That's not what we're about over here. That's why Black Americans, I'm just saying, is looked upon as a laughing stock. Black Americans have been marching and protesting for the past 60 years for the same thing, begging the descendants of slave owners for freedom, justice, and equality, and they still ain't giving it to us. All I'm saying is I'm just trying to get this business up and running, trying to find qualified first. I want to get the film project fully funded and made. The proceeds from that film project is going to put me in a better position financially, so I can purchase property here in the city of Chicago, so I can hire qualified Black middle-class professionals that's standing on business, and also so I can hire qualified African immigrants from those 10 African nations that I just named that's going to help me build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago for credibility. For credibility. And then
Okay.
like I say, we're going to visit the 10 African nations, including Nigeria. And the question at hand is, how will Gurkai of Chicago help benefit the African or benefit Nigeria? In simple terms, Black Americans as a collective, we have $1 trillion as a collective. But again, I want to connect with like-minded Black Americans. So that way, when we come to Nigeria, we're going to solve two of your major problems: rolling blackouts and water filtration. I'm going to speak with your governments behind closed doors. I'm not going to go into that online, but I will speak to them as president of the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. And my goal is to help my people that's trapped in American ghettos, to give them options. So we're going to solve those things for you all in exchange for citizenship. We're going to do the same thing in the other African countries as well. Do you have any questions for me, please?
Yeah, I have a question. You said quite a lot. You talked about your book, you talked about your store, your visual store, you talked about the movie you're ready to make, and then you talked about 10 things, or rather 10 programs you want to, once you are up and doing, you are going to be going into. So now I want to focus on those 10 uh pro business, no. Those 10 things you mentioned that are going to be part of your business. Okay, I want to focus on them
Nine things.
because
It's 9 components, but it's going to be 10 African nations that we're going to set up chapters.
there are nine. Okay, nine, fine. Now, my question is, this 9 components you're talking about, is there none of them you can actually start with while you are waiting for the fund? Now, the thing is this. My mom usually say, there is no money anywhere, and you don't. Like sometimes when I come to her, I say, Mommy, give me money. She'll be like, did you give me money to keep for you? Okay. I mean, usually that's what parents say to us here in Nigeria when you ask them for money. They'll be like, did you give me money to keep for you? Now, this simply says there is no money anywhere. All right. So in a time like this, all right, you said you've been on this for 30 something years, all right, and it's still the same story. I think you should change your strategy. I mean, that's what I think. You should change your strategy. Now, these 9 components you are keeping, waiting for the right time, is there none of them you can actually start working on? Now, it's actually a question, but I want to give emphasis on something. I have somebody over there in the US, and he also has an NGO, okay? And of course, he has a load of things, just like yours, 9 components, of things. He's interested in widows, education, indigent children. There are a lot of them. Now, what he did was to pick one out of them and on his own to start bringing solutions to them, all right, on his own, okay? Now, while he's doing that, he's taking records, I mean, video records and the rest of that, and he created a page on Facebook and other places, and he's pushing them. Now, why? Is because you need documentary. When you are telling people, I have these things I want to bring out, there should be a testimony that you are already doing something like that. So if somebody is coming in, they are coming in to support. But when you have nothing to show for what you said you are doing, you want to do, somebody might not be really interested to put in their money because they will feel that it's scam. Okay, so they will not be interested to put in your money until you show them that yes, You've started something, even if it is the littlest part of that component. But there has to be something to show for somebody else to put in their money. All right. So now my question is, out of these 9 components, which of them are you willing, are you ready to put in the work on your own while you are opening the door for people to support you? Because 30 years and is not a day. It is not even 30 days. All right. So there has to be something to show for this 30 years. Now, when you're telling somebody, hey, I have this idea, this is something I want to do. It's been there for 30 years. And the person is like, wow, 30 years and you haven't even started. How many more years do you want to go before you actually start doing it on your own? For you to show the world, to show, like if you go to somebody's office, you can boldly say, hey, look at my ideas, look at the components, I've done something. Look at it, look at the videos, look at the pictures, and the person will be, okay, fine, I'll support you. That's how it goes. So this thing you're talking about, this 9 components, which of them are you willing to start on your own while you are speaking, talking to people to support you?
It's this. This is my credibility. I'm selling my book first and foremost, like I say. This is what right here. I want people to help me get this book on that bestsellers list so that way the black world can take our cause serious first and foremost. Those that don't want to buy the book, cool, don't. You ain't gonna be part of my business because this is gonna be membership based. That's just how it is. I'm selling this. This is what I have right now. I have my virtual store where I'm doing something right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling items such as my shirts, again, beach towels, I would say coffee mugs, etc. I'm doing that, my sister. Have that out there. People can the link to my business in the comment section below this video podcast. I have that. But again, I'm standing on business, and now I'm trying to do this film project. I'm trying to raise $250,000. That's my goal. Once I raise that, I'm going to turn my book into a film. And the proceed, whatever I earn from that, then I'm going to hire people to help me run my Christian business. And I'm going to keep on reaching out to African immigrants within the United States of America to come forth. Work with me again while I am alive. Don't wait until I'm dead. Work with me now. I have something to work with. Help turn my ideas into a reality. Again, those that don't want to support me, cool, no problem. This is membership fees, and they will not be part of my business. When I come to Africa, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to shoot my second film. My second film is going to be in South Africa, and the sequel is called African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset. That's going to be made in South Africa. Also, I'm going to apply for dual citizenship in South Africa. So that way, continental Africans can take me serious. I'm not trying to hide behind no computer. I am online to recruit people that want to, for us to solve our own problems. But we're coming against that colonized mindset. We're also coming against that slave mentality. That's what I'm standing on. Again, everything I've written in my book, that's my documentation, what I've done. My film is going to be the documentation is what I did as well. This whole business is experience.
Okay.
This is how it is.
Okay. All right. I do get you.
Please. I want to make sure none of my members will never have to endure such foolishness that I have went through, because through my business, I am going to make sure I connect with my members. You're not going to have to go through this type of foolishness. We're going to support one another. We're going to be on one accord. And we're going to take our continent from the white supremacist financial elites, because we never asked them to come to our continent. Our continent is still being exploited. What gives me hope, Sarah, now hear me out, please, before you leave. It took Mali first, so Tunisia, 9 years to finally kick out the French. This is a hard task. I'm coming against a mentality that's a 400-year-old mentality, that slave mentality. It's the wrong way. One thing for sure, in my business, we raising the bar, and under my leadership, we're not going to have any corruption whatsoever, because we're going to have protocol in place. And I got all that written down in the book. But I want people to read my story first. Again, this is all I have at this point, is my revised book and my virtual store. And that's what I stand on. I stand on business. This is why I created my platform. I give people opportunities to come on my platform to promote their businesses, to promote their music, to promote their ministries. One way how I'm trying to help and do something. Singing. You understand what I'm saying, Coach Sarah?
I understand what you're saying. I do understand it totally. And I have to revert back to a training I attended some time ago. It's a business training, for business people and all that. The tutors said during the training, he said to us, most of you fail in business, not because you don't know the business you want to do, or you're not sure about the business you want to go into, but because the business we are projecting is what we want and not what people want. And when you are projecting a business of what you want and not what people are looking for, sometimes it takes a whole lot of time. All right. Now you have a good idea. All right. You have a good idea, very beautiful idea. Beautiful idea. You want to work on Black Americans, their mentality, and the rest of that. But if I am to say, I think we are taking the approach. We should change the approach. Okay. Now we have a business store, but the thing is, when somebody is going
She stopped. He froze. If it's still recording, I can tell you the front is, yes, she's right. Stuff that, it has to be in demand. In my business, we're going to create jobs for our members. We're going to hire our youth to play in our Black empowerment films, and we're going to pay them a stipend. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's why we're going to have that entrepreneur component. We're going to teach our members how to create a nonprofit as well as how to create a for-profit business for those that's, I would say, business minded. Again, I'm not sitting up here asking for no handout. This is what I'm selling. I'm selling my revised book. It is what it is. It's my story. And I want to turn that book into a film so that way it can reach the masses. And like I say, it's going to be membership based. But once I start making money and, my ideas is turning into fruitation, don't try to come around me then and say, oh, I want to be a part of this. Work with me now while I'm still quote unquote small. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm standing on. Um, Again, yes, we was having some technical difficulties, but we were able to get it, the message out there as much as possible. I'm grateful. Um, with that being said, uh, I don't know what much more I can say. Um, I got a few more people that's going to come on this on my platform this week. Also, I'm working on my last commentary for the year. And after that, after this week, I'm not going to do any more commentaries until the 1st of January because, I want people to enjoy their holidays and stuff like that. And I'm gonna just go on here and, just keep it real. I'm gonna take me a little break, a minor break. But yes, I understand what Coach Sarah was saying, you should switch things up and all that stuff too. But again, my thing is look at West Africa in those three countries: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. 39 years it took them to finally be able to kick out the French. And it's not over yet. The French still want to try to come back and recolonize them and all, but it doesn't belong to them, bottom line. And so those are the type of Africans I want to work with, Africans that's serious about, that's on business. When I come to Africa, I'm coming to Africa to create jobs to help improve the African economy. Now, those again that don't want to, that's not going to be part of us. We're just going to pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. It's not my fault that they don't want to be a part of us. But over here, we're about raising the bar. Over here, we're going to make sure that we have a good relationship with African immigrants. Because they, after all, they're here in America. They're in our country. We have been absent from Africa for 400 years. So before we do our African tours, we want to make sure that we connect with African immigrants from those 10 African nations that I mentioned from across the United States. I want them to come to Chicago, work with me, help me build this thing. If you're not able to come, I understand. Donate what you can to the film project. But most of all, help promote my revised book, help get this book on that bestsellers list so that way I can do my job because it takes capital. How in the world am I going to hire people if I don't have capital to do it? I've been paying out of pocket since 2010 for this business title because I believe this, what the Lord has given me to do. But again, God give us free will. I can't make anybody work with me. I thank the Lord for Sister Renee. I wish the Lord would bless me with more people like her that would come forth to work with me. But hey, it is what it is. This day and age, well, I'm going to just be like this. Black Americans nowadays have become Americanized. They have a narcissist type of mentality. Hey, I got mine, you get yours. I don't care about the community. It could be that way too. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no kids. I don't live in the inner cities anymore, but I have a compassion. I have a compassion for those single Black mothers and single Black fathers that's trapped in those high crime, drug, and gang infested communities that's being overlooked by American society. I'm not going over there to brag and just go over there to give them a whole bunch of lip service. When I come back to the hood, I want to make sure I bring tangibles to my members, those that's going to join. We're going to make our presence known in Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. Then we're going to expand it as well to the south side of Chicago and make our presence known over there as well. Our goal is to raise the bar in Black America, to put Black America, to make Chicago a model, and for us to hopefully it can expand just like McDonald's, to become a international franchise. I want us to build a multi-million-dollar business. But again, it's going to be membership based, because we can't help everybody, and I don't have time to sit up here and work with somebody that got a funky attitude. If you got a funky attitude, you keep it moving, because I'm respectful, and I don't deal with those type of people. Again, we're going to separate ourselves from con artists, hardened criminals, I would say Democrat shields, the Black Boule, off-code Negroes, pedophiles, and urban terrorists. We want to make sure we separate ourselves from those people. We want to raise the bar, the standards, and we want to make Gurkaya, Chicago, to be an economic base in the African American community, as well as in the African immigrant community, again, for credibility. And again, I want to make sure none of my members have to endure such foolishness that I had to go through. Somebody had to do it. And again, this is my assignment. This is a Nehemiah assignment. So the burden is not mine alone. This is how come I'm saying I want people that's serious about this to become Gurkaya members, so that way it can be a collective. And we can pass this business down to the next generation. Again, how much longer is it going to take for us to get this film project fully funded and made? That's up to the Black grassroots, and that's up to the global African family. And for me, that was a slap in the face, was this election that took place back in 2024, in November. Black American women raised $1 million for Kamala Harris. And again, that woman didn't do anything for the African American community. And yet, 33 years of my life, I've been trying to get this business up and running. Now I'm trying to turn it into a film. And I'm just going to just focus on this year alone. Out of 2,000 people that was on my former Facebook page, out of 2,000, only one person donated to the film project. Again, that's not my fault. I do these video podcasts every week.